Welcome to Faith Through Reason, and I'm Brian Sullivan. Let's get on after it. As Catholics, we often get accused of changing the Ten Commandments. So in a similar way, that's what we're going to do today. We all know the first commandment, I am the Lord your God, and you shall not have strange gods before me. But what if I tell you this isn't the first thing God commands of mankind? In Genesis, we read the creation narrative. God makes man and woman in his image, and the first thing he commands of them is this: be fruitful and multiply. Now this command is significant for several reasons, and today we're going to discuss three of them. Firstly, we have our partnership in creation. What does this mean? Unlike other creatures, God gives us a unique role on this earth, one of creation and stewardship. While other creatures share the capacity to multiply, where we differ is our ability to care for and shape the world around us. In a sense, this gives us a window in what it means to be created in God's image. Beavers, for example, create dams out of necessity. However, humans will create dams for a multitude of reasons: water storage, power generation, or even aesthetics. This innate ability allows for achievements such as musical compositions, pieces of art, novels, the list goes on. Just as God created out of nothing, we too share that ability to create things that did not exist before. On top of our ability to create, we also have a unique role in caring for God's creation. A lion cares not for the birds and the bees, the forest and the trees, but we, however, do. This distinction underscores our higher purpose. Now I know you're asking, what does this even have to do with the main point? Well, it's this. As we increase in numbers, we increase in our capacity to create and care for God's creation. Think of it this way. As we bring more people into this world, our ability to impact it grows exponentially, whether for good or for bad. This is precisely why the family is the bedrock of society. As individuals focus on leading their children for the glory of God, those children, in turn, do the same, creating a cascade effect, spreading the beauty of God's creation and protecting the sanctity of life. This partnership in creation also highlights the transformative potential of humanity. Consider this. Our creative capacity allows us to envision and bring into existence things that reflect God's beauty and order. The cathedrals of Europe, breathtaking symphonies, and groundbreaking innovations are all fruits of this divine gift. Each a new life contributes a new voice, a new perspective, and a new opportunity to reflect God's glory. The command is to be fruitful and to multiply. It isn't just about reproduction. It's about participating in God's ongoing creative work and using our abilities to glorify Him. Secondly, this command emphasizes the sanctity of human life. With humans sharing in and having a unique role in creation, this elevates us to show how we are the highest order of all creatures. Keeping this in mind sheds light on problems that are all too pervasive in modern society. As we have drifted further and further from God's original intent for us and our duties to His creation, this has led to a devaluation of human life. Issues such as abortion and medical euthanasia are a few key examples of this devaluation. In a world that holds fast to the command to be fruitful and multiply, these practices can become absolutely unthinkable and morally bankrupt. This can be seen quite clearly in ancient Rome. As Christianity began to spread, so did its ideals. With the spreading of these ideals, practices like infanticide, which were once commonplace, became a thing of the past. Now, compare this with modern-day practices such as abortion and medical euthanasia. Gone are the days of a predominantly Christian and more specifically Catholic society. With the disappearance of the cornerstone of morality and the rejection of the church, we have minimized the importance of every human life. You might argue that evangelicals have been quite instrumental in combating abortion, but I'd argue the contrary. Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "God is dead and we have killed him." The idea here is that as individualism and scientific thought grow, the importance of God diminishes. The Reformation, with its focus on individualism, planted the seeds for what would eventually lead to the devaluation of human life. By shifting the focus to the individual, people began to play God. And once you start playing God, it's a short path to atrocities. Today, it's common to meet people who call themselves Christians, but do everything in their power to limit their family size. If it's acceptable to prevent pregnancies altogether, the next logical step is this: why can't I just end a pregnancy if it arises? While, of course, abortion is a greater moral failing than the use of contraceptives, they both stem from the same issue. I am in charge. I choose my family size. I choose when I have kids. This is in direct contradiction to God's desire for us to be fruitful and multiply and be stewards of His creation. The moment it becomes morally permissible to play God in one way, it will then become morally permissible to play God in another. The Catholic Church understands this and condemns contraceptives for this exact reason. In a similar sense, just as the acceptance of contraceptives permits abortion, abortion permits medical euthanasia. Being open to life is the most crucial way we can combat these problems and show the sanctity of life. Each individual life, potential or actualized, has an untold capacity to create. While each person has different abilities, just like the parable of the talents, God gives us in accordance with our potential. It is our job to be the best stewards with what we have been given. It is our duty to protect others so they may be able to do the same. Lastly, life is a blessing, plain and simple. It's all too common in modern society for us to focus on the negative and not embrace the positive. This ties into what we've discussed about the moral failing of trying to limit family size and the timing. Many people today will say, the world is a bad place, so I don't want to bring kids into this. Here's the problem with that. We create the society we want to live in. If that's the case, how can we create a better society if we're unwilling to be open to life? If you want a society that values human life and the sanctity of it, that must start at home. In the same vein, what greater blessing is there to have children and to watch them grow? We instinctively understand this. I've never met someone who said they had too many kids, but I've met plenty who said they didn't have enough. Instead of viewing children as a drag on personal freedom, they should be seen as what God intended them to be, a blessing that comes from an outpouring of love. Think about it. Our parents used to say, babies come from when a mommy and a daddy love each other very much. And while it's a simple way of explaining it, it's fundamentally true. Life arises out of love. This understanding of life as a blessing also reshapes our perspective on the future. Every child represents hope, potential, and the continuation of God's work. By embracing life, we embrace God's plan and trust in His providence. Moreover, children teach us valuable lessons in humility, patience, and selflessness, qualities that reflect the heart of God. This has been Faith Through Reason. Thanks for watching, and until next time, God bless.